Hi, I'm Bowling Outer.
And I'm Lacey Sandwich.
And welcome to
the BS on the Internet.
It's been another one of those weeks.
Oh my gosh, it has.
It has.
It really
has
has.
indeed.
It's been
7 days
a
went by.
stressful week full of very strong opinions from different sides on a lot of different issues.
Indeed.
And it's been stressful. This whole week, it seems like everything just either got strange or went wrong. It was raining all week. It was the whole
Where
week
we are, at least.
at least here. In the entire world.
In the
it was
entire
raining.
world, it was raining.
But it does.
That's our lead story.
It's like there was a rain cloud over just the whole week, and it felt so long. It feels like we haven't done one of these in a couple weeks because there was so much stuff to fit in here. But we will do our best. Just a fair warning, we're going to be talking about some things that may elicit some very strong opinions. So I know you guys will be very kind in the comments.
No
but
jerks.
Don't worry, we won't get too intense. It's everywhere anyway. So, we'll try and make this as upbeat and lovely as possible. So the whole week isn't raining all over the entire world.
It's not raining everywhere.
Yeah. Okay, so surprise! A bunch of you were tweeting us this week saying that the first episode of Life is Strange 2 is coming out in September.
In September.
Yes.
Yeah.
And first off, why didn't they mention this at E3?
That's
what I want to know.
I don't know. It was kind of interesting that they saved it for this. We didn't see the words Life is Strange 2 anywhere that I can remember at E3. So
yeah,
this is interesting.
Yeah, but they're saying that, I don't know how it ties in. It says it will not take place in Arcadia Bay, but we have that Captain Spirit game that's supposed to be coming out. So I'm wondering how the two of them fit together.
Well, yeah, it says right here that Captain Spirit short story will include choices that impact Life is Strange 2. So there's speculation here that them announcing this now is really kind of to push Captain Spirit, which is about to come out. Pretty soon, so.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how this pans out because I have such not a love-hate relationship with Life is Strange because ultimately
I might call it love.
Really?
I might call it
I
love
think I like it more than I dislike
Absolutely.
it. It's just
Without
that
question.
dialogue.
Yeah. There's
It's just that dialogue.
You guys know how we feel about that.
When
Yeah.
it's good, it's
great.
really good.
The best moments of that
It's
season
really
were
good.
freaking amazing.
I know, but then remember in the last season, there's so many moments like this.
Yeah.
In the last season when Rachel, Amber, and Chloe are on stage and they speak the Shakespearean back and forth,
and it's
yeah. And then God,
Yeah.
I love art.
Yeah, well, there's
and
this
all
that, which that still posed law for me. I can't tell if that was
I know. I mean,
a joke or not.
It's memed to death.
Yes.
But I mean, of course we're going to play
as a whole, we
it.
still really enjoy the whole experience a lot. So
Yeah.
looking forward to the next one.
Of course, I was just so surprised.
Make no mistake about that.
Yeah, it's a pleasant surprise. I'm happy to say, and 5 episodes.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very hashed out. So like the first season.
Like the first
imagine.
one.
Look at that! It says 2015.
Yeah. Wow.
The first one. Do you believe that? 2015.
Wow. I didn't realize it was that long ago now.
I know. I was like, ah.
Second, Mario Tennis Aces came out first off. That game's freaking amazing.
You love.
I love that game.
So many people loved it.
I might want to stream some more of it. We streamed the network trial.
Right.
And I loved it. And I might want to stream
Really
some more. I
did,
haven't decided yet. But either way, I'm going to play a heck of a lot of it. So if you guys are playing that, let me know in the comments.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people mad.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't let you play a regular game of tennis.
Okay.
Mario Tennis Aces. Now.
Right.
You
think it's kind of ridiculous. Now,
I keep going back and forth on this.
For those of you who were like me, fun fact, and I only realized this about myself this week.
When we started playing.
Yeah, when we started talking about this, I know nothing about tennis. Zip. It wasn't in my high school. I didn't watch it. Nobody watched it in my family. I know absolutely nothing. So hopefully there's somebody else out there like me. So explain what it is that's happening. What's the problem here?
Well, the main difference, obviously Mario Tennis Aces has a lot of extra stuff going on, power-ups and special stuff, and you can break the racket of the other player and win that way, which is interesting. But the scoring rule's the same. But there's normal tennis is played in sets.
Right.
Where one game you
I do
play,
know that.
it just counts up. A game is really fast, and if you win the game, you get one game won in a set, and then you have to win six games. Hold on, you have to win 6 games to win the set, and then there's a bunch of sets, and you have to win 2 out of 3 sets, whatever. But this is there's no sets at all. It's just games. You just win 3 games and you win.
Okay.
So you can't play a full long match of
So
tennis.
wait, you have to win 3 or like 2 out of 3? Or
I think
like
2
that?
out of 3. I think it's 2 out of 3 because you can win in
Okay.
8 points. If you get 8 straight points, you win.
All right. All right.
Totally. But it's
There you go. You could win a match in just 8 points.
just 8 points. Yeah.
Pretty fast.
It's pretty fast paced.
Pretty fast paced.
Pretty fast paced. That's true though, and I think that was very intentional. And the game is supposed to just be played in little bites. And it's online multiplayer, like totally. So they want you to get in and out. But I can see at the same time though, they're calling it Mario Tennis Aces, which kind of at least suggests that you'll be playing tennis like proper.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
maybe like probably with crazy stuff going on. I can see how some people would say that. Personally, I don't mind at all that they just mess with it because it's an arcade version of tennis. Of course, there's going to be rules changed.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to happen. But I get that it probably would have been cool to have an option to just play a long match.
Sure.
Because if you're
Yeah.
doing it
Put in
competitively,
the
I mean, like
settings or
tennis
something,
matches that go on for very long times can be super freaky. I like tennis a lot.
Yeah.
I like watching tennis. I played a little bit of tennis
I didn't know
earlier
this
in
until
life.
I knew you played a little bit. Yeah.
A little. I didn't play a lot.
When we were moving out of his bachelor pad, I moved into his bachelor pad when we first got together, and we're moving out.
Yeah.
And there's a tennis racket.
Yeah.
And we're married.
I used it.
And we're married.
I actually
And I'm
used
like,
it,
you play tennis? Like, and I married you? Who is this man?
I guess I stopped playing. I used to play with my friend a lot for years.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
were just, especially when it got nice out, we
That's
would go
really
to tennis courts
cool.
and just play.
Yeah.
And I didn't play with a lot of other people. I didn't play in a league or anything like that.
Right, right.
But it was like a hobby.
That's really cool.
And I liked playing tennis video games a lot. Tennis video games actually taught me how to score tennis, interestingly enough. But
Yeah.
and I'm super in love with this game. And I get like the tension that could build over a long tennis match. I love that. And to apply that to what Mario Tennis Aces has could be really, really cool. But I think that it's definitely healthier as a game that is just in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out.
Yeah.
Then you could just 1 match, 2 matches, 3 matches, different people, keep getting new people in. Especially because, and I just realized this now, I forgot that the whole thing was in like a bracket format. Right?
Oh.
So like if
It
the
was.
second people are always playing people who
It
just
was.
won, and then the next people are all playing
that was
people that have
cool.
reached. I love that
That was
idea.
really cool,
But that
yeah.
would not be really feasible if you're having a long, full-length tennis match. You'd be doing that for I don't know, an hour, 2
couldn't
hours.
fit.
to get-
Yeah.
If you got all the way through one. So it's I don't know.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
wouldn't be feasible. But I think just being able to play one-on-one without that bracket and being able to play a full tennis match would be cool.
Yeah.
And I imagine they could patch that in if they really wanted
Oh,
to.
I'm sure.
That can't be a huge change, right? There'd be no
Yeah.
graphics, no assets needed for that sort of thing.
Right.
You know, maybe a scoreboard.
But certainly you don't think that people deserve a refund because it's not there.
Yeah, people are
Because some
asking for a
people
refund.
are saying that the game was not sold as advertised. You can't
can't
call
call
it
it tennis
tennis
without it actually
without
being
it being a
tennis
tennis game.
game.
How much is this? Does this game cost? Do you
I
know?
don't know. But NFL Blitz has NFL in the name, and that was not a game of football.
Yeah.
Nobody cared. NBA
That's
Jam
true.
was
And this is
said
Tennis
NBA in there, and that was
Aces.
not a game of basketball.
Yeah, this is Tennis
I
Aces.
don't know. I just don't think.
Yeah.
I don't really buy it that he deserved a refund for that. I'm sorry. I don't.
Yeah.
You know, if you disagree with me, by all means, tell me in the comments because I'm curious to hear your opinions on it. My personal opinion is I would like to see that feature there. I do think it feels a little bit missing, but I
Yeah.
don't think that warrants a refund of the whole game.
Yeah, look,
personally.
shallow gameplay. It shatters the rewarding feeling of fighting tooth and nail for 20 plus minutes to come out the victor by a tiny margin.
It's a different game, though.
Belittles the mental
It's different.
warfare you and your opponent are having as you try and outplay
Look,
one another.
I get that, but this isn't a simulator. This is
Yeah.
not a tennis simulator.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
obvious. Nobody can tell me they looked at this and said, this is going to be a tennis simulator. Nobody thought it was going to be. There
Right,
are
right.
tennis simulator games. This is Nintendo's take on tennis, which is like they did with a lot of other sports.
Yeah, yeah.
And those other sports are not this. It's not a simulation. There's rule changes and all sorts of stuff. So
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I think it's ludicrous to say that it's false advertising and
Right.
that you should be refunded for it.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
this will fizzle out. I'm not hearing a huge thing about this, right? Are you?
No.
Yeah.
I saw that it came out. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah. And I Googled
Yeah.
it to talk about this because I
Yeah.
wanted to mention it. And then I saw this and I was
It's
like,
gotta
yo.
fizzle out. I can't believe this actually has legs.
I hope so. But do you guys think that it should not be
Yeah,
not
let me
have
know.
tennis
I'm
in the
curious
name? Or
how
what
you
do you
guys feel
think?
about it.
Yeah. Do you think that Maddie's out of line? Do you think you should be able to play
Maybe
tennis?
I am. Tell me
don't
I'm out
know.
of line then.
Put it in the comments, please.
Indeed.
Okay, so next up we have some news that came out earlier in the week that I thought was really interesting that says the World Health Organization has classified gaming disorder as an actual mental disorder.
Yes.
In
Gaming
the
addiction, yeah.
Right. So there is. I pulled this up. I'm sorry. I'm going to get nerdy for
No,
one
please
second.
do. This is
and then
Lissy's
I'm going to move
wheelhouse,
on.
so we're all going to get schooled here.
So no, I'll be very, very quick. Okay. So there is an international classification of diseases, right? They're on their 11th edition over here, where it's so that the international medical community or mental health community can all come together and agree that there are certain disorders that are consistent across or around the world. And they also use it to share data, which has been very, very helpful in figuring out if some disorders behave in a certain area of the world and blah, blah, blah. So they have decided to classify gaming disorder as an addiction. So what I was reading about it, and I was like, really? Because as of right now, in the United States, we have what is called the DSM-5. It's a Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. So anytime I get a patient and I read what their what their disorders are, if they have any, you look it up in the DSM and it tells you all about the disorder, like when there's an onset, what the symptoms are, It's
like a handbook.
It is. It's like a
more
dictionary.
than an encyclopedia.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like a dictionary encyclopedia of mental disorders. And it's very, very helpful. And a new edition comes out, every 5 or so years, maybe between 5 and 10 years. And
keep it updated,
as of right now, they have the DSM. This is just American, as far as I know. I think it is used in other countries. So now that I think about it, I know it has a lot to do with the ICD as well. But gaming addiction, I'm surprised that the World Health Organization decided to do this, because the definition of addiction is you get like physical withdrawal symptoms. It interferes with your family and your employment and all of that kind of stuff. You build up a tolerance to it. You have to get more of it in order to feel satisfied. So you would have to game for right.
Okay.
So you would have to game for a very, very long period of time in order to feel satisfied. Say you can't, you would play 8 hours and feel satisfied. You start to but there's physical symptoms that go along with this. So in the DSM, it is classified under the addictions as a possibility for further study. So keep an eye on it, because in the States, we don't know if gaming disorder can be classified. You could mix it in with online gambling. That's a whole other completely different animal. You could study it with screen time. Is it just the screen? Is it just the device? So all of this is still being studied. There's a lot of controls here. So a lot of people are really surprised that the World Health Organization put this in, because they are saying that it's mostly harmless. I know a lot of people are saying, screen time for young kids is a bad idea. I think the American Pediatric Association says no more than 2 hours a day, I think, or something like that. But there are benefits to having some screen time.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, I use gaming, I've always used it to unwind.
Yeah.
It's more of a hobby.
Stress
Can you
relief,
be addicted to a hobby?
Yeah.
At one point, but do you blame the hobby? Is the hobby the catalyst for the addiction?
Yeah.
Or is it the addictive personality? So I'm surprised that they isolated gaming like this. And I'm really wondering if it's because of the the hostile climate that we're in right now, where people are trying to point fingers with school shootings, with things like that, where they're trying to blame somebody. They can say they have gaming addiction. Yes, it's been done. Yeah, but the fact that they're willing to put it down, and I wanted to see what their data was for this, what made them decide. And they said there is a lack of good quality scientific evidence about how to diagnose it.
So the classifying without a diagnosis?
Yes.
Wow.
So because they don't know how to diagnose this, they don't know how to diagnose it really firmly yet.
Well, then why
because
would they
it's so up in the air. Right.
We
don't know.
If you can't squarely diagnose it, doesn't that mean it's not really a provable thing yet?
There's too many variables. Yeah. So that's why the DSM hasn't put it in there yet.
Okay.
Because think.
To specify, or just to reiterate, these are two different unrelated things, right? The World Health Organization and the DSM.
Right. Although they do.
Excuse me.
I do all right.
Yeah.
Yes, they're very different. Yes. But the DSM, it's about this thick. You know, it's very, very cool. I've got it upstairs. I flip through it every once in a while, and I go, oh, yeah, what was this? You know, it's very, very interesting.
I'm sure they influence each other.
They do. They certainly do. But the idea that, I don't know now if the DSM is going to change, because once it's in the DSM, you know, it's kind of, you know, like canon. Okay. But things will come out of the DSM. I know in some of the earlier editions of it, being trans was considered a disorder, or being gay was considered a mental disorder, and that has since been removed a long time ago. So things do cycle in and out as we get more information, but still, I don't know. People are blaming a moral panic on this.
Okay, there we go.
And that's just kind of happening. Yeah, so I think it's a moral panic. I think they really jumped the gun on it. I think the World Health Organization was just trying to point a finger.
Yeah, but, what we're doing then is overdiagnosing. We're sort of pathologizing a behavior that for many people is not harmful. In any way.
Right,
because
right.
You have to look at the amount of people. I mean, there's more gamers now than ever, and it's continuing to grow because more people are growing up with gaming. It's just becoming a part of everybody's life now. It's something we all share. And if it feels like if it was a serious threatening disorder, we would see far more people afflicted by it.
Yeah.
Because the sample size is tremendous.
Right.
I mean, it's ridiculous how many people are just perfectly and safely participating.
Yeah, especially because they were saying that the people who they are studying for, and I was like, well, what about the people that they did study that they believe had it? The majority of the people were male who they believe have a gaming addiction. They were mostly male, and they were mostly living in Asia, and they were mostly, I think, under 20 years old.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
So, but that's not enough, I don't think, to, you know, make a formal declaration of, you know, gaming being an addiction.
I think I remember reading somewhere they're saying, I think specifically saying that it would have to do in cases where it was affecting their personal lives, the professional lives.
Yeah, there's like addiction check boxes.
But it doesn't seem like, at least, and I think you would certainly be equipped to at least guide me along here. It seems to me to be like any of those things that are being affected by somebody playing a lot of games that you probably have another underlying condition.
Sure.
That could be treated as more of a root cause situation.
It could be manifesting.
Like if you stopped at the games, you're really not looking.
Right.
You know, at that point, like now there's something else happening here that it's manifesting in this gaming habit, really.
Right.
At that point.
Like it's like somebody who has OCD and is a compulsive washer, and then it would be like blaming the hand washing and not the OCD and not treating the OCD.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's where my brain is. So I don't know. I don't like when like they're saying here, a moral panic leaks into this kind of, you know, diagnosis literature, because then I don't know, I feel like it loses its objectivity.
I think it completely makes itself irrelevant to me when they say that they can't really diagnose it, though.
Yeah, they're not.
So it's
quite
like, well,
sure.
then what the heck are you talking about? I could just make up something and say like I couldn't diagnose it.
I mean, it is very, very difficult to diagnose.
Yeah,
very difficult to diagnose. But still, I really don't think it checks off those addiction check boxes.
Yeah.
You know, like you get a physical, visceral reaction to not playing. Are you going to get sick? Are you actually
going to get sick from not playing?
Do you?
Then you're addicted.
Yeah.
Although there's a difference between physical addiction and like.
Yeah, there can be. Yeah, you could get psychosomatic, symptoms or whatever. You could start sweating or get headaches or something.
You also mentioned that tolerance has to be a part of it too.
Yeah.
Is this really an escalating thing, or is it just like people have it pinned at 11 all the time?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know. But then, you know,
and are you addicted to a specific game or just the act of gaming?
Yeah. Although, you know what? And
there's MMOs.
I might be wrong about this. I think that the group that they did study or that they did look into, they were mostly addicted to MMOs.
Yeah. Which ask the most time from you.
Yes.
And they punish you for being away from them.
They do.
So that makes
that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all either.
I've sunk the most time into MMOs.
But you know what's interesting? You know? Dan, if you're going to say that, what about professional gamers who just train all day and all they ever do is play?
Yeah.
Are we going to call it addiction now?
Maybe.
I mean, but even if it's their actual profession.
If they're getting the symptoms, you know, if it's taking up all their money, like with addiction, you have to you know, you spend all your money on it. It ruins all your relationships with your family and friends. You have
unless it created,
tolerance.
but if it's your profession, it could have created those relationships.
Yeah,
it could have. It's funding your life. It's actually
know.
giving you a life. At that point, it's providing.
Yeah. Well, that you could make that argument for really any hobby. Say
Yeah.
I like jogging.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I
guess
I
the
just want to
idea
jog
is
all the time.
this
Am I
feels
addicted to
almost
jogging?
as aloof as that.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're getting at.
I think so.
here.
I think it's the combination of needing to point a finger for the moral crisis that's happening, and people still having an aversion to putting screens in front of their kids.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't like putting a screen in front of our kids.
We just don't have enough data on this whole thing.
Right,
yet,
we don't. But you know what? I know that they dialed it way back.
Yeah.
Before it used to be no TV, no nothing, no screens, zip.
Yeah.
And then they kind of went
well, then
you
you're
know
not even
what?
exposed to
They're
the
all
the way
right.
the world works now.
Yeah, it's
Everybody's
just
got
like
a screen in front of them.
Right, exactly. So like they do have to know what's going on. We try not to use it. We have.
Yeah.
You know, if we have to. You know,
if he's like sick or like, and we need to have a few extra bites of dinner.
Yeah,
it's like, let's put
we'll
on Sesame
something
Street on in
on.
front of us. But we do try to avoid it. But that's a parenting thing.
Yeah,
totally.
for sure.
That's just the way we're doing stuff.
But yeah, it's just like they want to point the finger. I said I wouldn't talk about this for a really long time, and
No,
I
find
didn't
this
talk
really
about it for a
interesting.
really long time.
I don't know. I bet you guys too. I like when we can
Sorry.
dig into this kind of stuff with Lissy personally. I find this stuff very interesting, and that we're hearing from a very informed source on this kind of stuff. So he's worked in these fields. So I like it. So thank you for the information, Lissy.
You're welcome. Okay, it's time for the subreddit of the week, and I found this one this week. And I was so excited. It's called Moon Selfies.
Moon Selfies.
And if you guys have the opportunity, please take one of these.
It's only got 385 subscribers.
Yes. Please
Wow.
take one of these moon selfies and send them to me because I just, oh my gosh, got me in the giggle dick. I love it. So you get an empty toilet paper roll and you put it over your camera and put your face in it and take a selfie, and it looks like you're the moon. Look! It looks like your face is the moon.
See, at first to me, I just saw like a tunnel with the face at the end of it.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of like a Yanny Laurel thing.
Oh,
But now
right,
that I
right,
see
right.
it the other way, it's like, oh, now I totally see a face in the moon.
Look
Yeah.
at that.
Is that John Wolfe?
I don't know. Oh, kind of looks like John Wolfe, doesn't it? Kind of looks like oh gosh, Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oh my God, John Wolfe
Doesn't
looks
he?
like Lee Harvey Oswald.
John Wilkes Booth, not Lee Harvey Oswald. John Wilkes Booth. Yes, that's what it looks like. John Wilkes Booth, not
John
Lee Harvey
Wilkes-
Oswald. No, he
okay.
didn't have a mustache. Anyway, but look at this one. Oh
my
yeah.
God.
Somebody said, why is he so sweaty? Why is the moon
He's
so
really
sweaty?
sweaty.
And someone said climate change. The moon's really, really sweaty. But look at that. Isn't that freaking unbelievable?
Well, that one
Or
doesn't
that's
look like a
James
moon. That
Bond.
looks like a toilet paper roll.
It does. Well, you know what? I just saw, Ethan must have seen this from H3H3, Ethan Klein, must have seen this because he took one. I
Yeah.
was going to take one of these selfies, and then he did it, and I didn't want to look like I was copying off of Ethan.
Oh.
I know, it's so childish. I was like, well, now I got to wait. But he said it looked like the James Bond thing to him.
Okay,
Which
okay.
I agree.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah, see, doesn't that just make your,
That's
your
pretty great.
year?
That's pretty great.
Oh my gosh. See, that makes me so happy. Just, you know, the person
What's the
that...
Howdy Moon Men one?
Howdy Moon Men? Oh my god!
That's good. That's good.
Oh
That's
gosh,
good.
I need to do this. I need to do this. You know what? I had an empty paper towel holder and I didn't do it. Actually, there's one upstairs, I think.
The I am the only moon thing, does that not remind you of like Pazuzu?
It does. It's black and white.
Yes.
Pazuzu's
Like,
from The Exorcist.
From The Exorcist?
That demon.
Yeah, like that
was
face that
really
keeps popping up,
creepy.
that scared the
Yeah,
crap
that
out
was
of
some
me.
creepy,
Just like silently
creepy
would
stuff.
show up sometimes.
Yeah,
Like,
it would
"Who's
just
that?
flash.
Who's that?
It would just
Yeah.
flash. Oh my god. But we digress.
Anyway, okay, next we're going to talk about TanaCon.
This is still happening.
Is it?
I think so.
my God.
We're still getting news from this.
Oh yeah, this is updated 5/17 today.
Yes,
Just
as
a few hours
we're
ago.
recording this. We're
Yeah.
recording it Saturday night.
This
the
is
night
Saturday night.
before
We're actually
this is
yeah,
going
we're
up.
actually up to date right now.
Oh my god. So it's going so
Yeah.
it's going on. So explain what's going on. I saw this trending all day on Twitter. I haven't been able to keep up. And Maddie very bravely read an article on this and got filled in on the entire thing.
I'm going to try to summarize it best I can.
What happened?
As accurately as I think I'm being. I'll link it below if you want to read the whole thing yourself. But anyway, so Tana Mongeau, I wasn't really familiar with her before this story.
I knew of her.
And honestly, she's probably going to get a lot more popular because of this story. But she's a vlogger that just basically talks about, I don't know, beauty stuff and kind of being trashy. Tells a lot of stories.
Yeah,
I mean, she owns that crap out of that. I mean, like, if you go to her thing, it's just like, okay, you know, she's doing it. Yeah. I think the latest episode says, like, how to cake your face like a hoe. Is actually the title of the episode. So this doesn't come from me. But I'm
glad you pointed that out.
She was bad. She's got millions of subs though, okay?
Yeah.
Very popular.
She hustles,
A lot of people really like she hustles her butt off and puts up a lot of content, and she was at VidCon, but they wouldn't give her a featured creators badge, okay? And she got like pissed about it, made a big video about it. And I think the biggest concern typically is that featured creators at VidCon get extra security. So if they're out in public places, they don't get completely mobbed in a ridiculous way. So there's situations a little bit more controlled.
Okay.
So there's some pretty popular YouTubers out there that could get mobbed at any point in time. And you hope that VidCon has that covered, and they try to have that covered to see who's going to be, even if they don't think they're going to be.
Sure.
But they've been around for 9 years perfecting this kind of thing, okay? So she got mad, and she decided to put her own con together instead, TanaCon, which she said would be for people. Oh, the complaint was also that VidCon's too expensive, and so it's cost prohibitive for a lot of people, and even the people that do spend the money, like $150 to get in, never get a meet and greet, never get to see anybody. They just get in and nothing even happens. So a lot of people I know are pretty displeased with VidCon. I hear for a lot of different reasons, but I don't know much about that.
Yeah, I don't either.
So I don't want to go into that too much and start making a lot of speculation.
So what is in there? What is a VidCon then? Anyway,
I think
if you're not doing.
I think it's a lot of panels. It's basically like we would consider PAX is almost like VidCon for gamers.
Okay,
you know? But like VidCon is for everybody. Like Logan Paul, I think last year at VidCon had like a ton of people that mobbed him and created this huge issue. Yeah. And those are the kind of things that they're trying to avoid.
Okay.
But it creates a barrier for sure. And Tana wanted to do away with that barrier. Wanted to do TanaCon, which is going to be, she was going to invite a lot of other people, including people like Shane Dawson, Bella Thorne were going, and they were going to just be able to meet everybody for free. Like, you could get a VIP pass. I think you could get to the panels for free, but you can get a VIP pass for like $60 or $70, which would get you to like a meet and greet. And just to like hang out. And they'd just be like mingling, and it would be this super open access event. She wanted to do it, and really cool idea, right? Okay, but she took less than 2 months to plan it, apparently, all right? And rented out a ballroom, I think, that was only supposed to fit 5,000 people. And the day of the event, a ton of people showed up, okay?
And this is in Anaheim, I believe, right?
Yeah, in California, this time of year, it's very hot. And what happened was a ton of people lined up. About 15,000 people came, I think. And were lined up outside, and there was no place to put them.
For a room with a capacity of 5,000.
5,000, yeah. And so, like, people started spilling out into other areas of the hotel. Well, first off, a lot of people were just left outside, never even got into the building. People started lining up at 6 a.m. It got to be about 1 p.m. It was crazy. Some people were complaining on Twitter, apparently, about, like, feeling lightheaded from being out in the heat, and nobody had any water. They didn't plan for people to be in line, I guess. And security was freaking out in the building because they just started spreading throughout the building because there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
They were there for hours.
Yeah.
And there was nothing to do. There's no, like, I don't know, there's no other activities whatsoever. You just have a bunch of people waiting.
Right.
And they couldn't get into the main room anyway. So there were other creators, apparently, that were just kind of hanging around the other areas of the hotel that started getting approached and started creating other mobs in other areas of the hotel.
So all of those people, so she invited, say, Shane Dawson, right?
Yeah.
So people weren't only coming for her.
No, they were
coming for Shane Dawson as well, and some of the other creators that she said she had.
It just sounded like they didn't plan for how many people may be actually coming to this. Long story short, it's already been a long story.
Yeah.
They had to cancel it because they were trying to control people, trying to get them into different rooms, trying to spread them out to other areas, and trying to organize. And there was just too many people, and they were afraid it was a safety hazard. Afraid people were going to start to get trampled, because it got to a point where people started kind of like moving quickly.
Crowds are scary.
If you start moving too quickly, and like, you know, ever been in like the pit at like a big show, like the Electric Factory in Philadelphia is a good example. That can get really freaking scary when you get people like this.
You're like a mass.
And like suddenly they start moving,
like this,
and you're like, and you could, if somebody fell, could very easily get trampled. It could be terrible. Terrible things have happened. And when it gets to be that kind of risk, they had to call it off. But the thing is that people had flown in for this, gotten hotel rooms, and bought and paid the extra money to buy the VIP passes, even if they weren't as expensive. It's still it's a lot. It's a huge investment. And there's apparently not even really a plan. We haven't heard of a plan yet for how to refund those people. So Shane Dawson has already said that if they don't do it, he's going to personally pay back the money out of his own pocket.
No.
And it wasn't even his con, so he's like bailing her out at this point.
I love him.
And it's because like
awesome.
he has come out and said like he thinks it was all had the heart in the right place, was not well planned. It sounds like they still want to go take a step back and actually plan one and be more careful about it and take the proper amount of time, make sure they got the proper venue. They've got to do some sort of a confirmation about how many people are actually going to be there. They have to have a cap on the head count.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to have some limitations here.
Like, did they just sell more tickets than they had?
It doesn't seem like they understood what capacity they had at all. And I think the idea being that it was free. Maybe, I don't know this for sure, but maybe they didn't like ticket the free people. I feel like you've got to give them a free ticket, but give them a ticket.
Yeah, give them an actual thing.
So they can track it. And maybe they did, but I'm thinking maybe they didn't, and maybe that's why so many more people came. Although I did see that Tana herself was complaining during the event that the problem was that a lot of unticketed people came and were making mobs. So maybe that does mean people that didn't register for the event and they weren't supposed to get in at all anyway. But there's got to be some sort of crowd management. There's got to be a way to entertain that many people. You know, if they can't just like sit in a room.
Yeah,
and leave.
like there were some
what was
people,
that gonna happen, especially flying in.
Yeah,
you know?
Like as I was catching this towards the last half of the day today, and I was checking the hashtag, and I was like, something is going on. Like flipping through my phone, like what is happening? And some people were like, we're all just standing in a hallway. There's nothing to do. They shuffled in like 500 people, and we all stood there, and then they kicked them all out and then put the next 500 in. And then I know there was some question where there were some panels going on, and she was conducting a chant or like leading a chant of F VidCon. And there were like little kids.
Yeah, little kids. A lot of younger fans.
And and that were all around this. But it seems like it's going to be like the Fire Festival of cons.
Yeah.
You know,
although they'll have
a good story.
That was a little more. That was more of a train wreck than this.
I wish we were doing this during the Fire Festival.
You're right.
Because that was so crazy. But whoever went will have a really good story about it once they stop being pissed.
Yeah.
That always happens. You go through something terrible, and then eventually, hopefully, you could laugh about it one day.
Yeah.
And you'll have a great story about it. But right now, I'm sure it just sucks.
Yeah.
So badly.
Yeah.
And I feel really awful for the people who went and weren't able to meet who they wanted
it's a bummer.
to meet.
It seems like it
Live and
was
learn.
it was a neat idea.
Yeah.
But a totally unrealistic one. And maybe now it'll become a realistic one. And
Yeah.
I hope it happens.
Right.
It would be cool for a lot of people.
Yeah. Crowds can be really scary places. You know what this reminds me of? Maybe I should have put this on another like subheader on this. I don't know. But like I just saw that at one of Eminem's concerts this week, he had what people thought were gunshot noises at the end of one of his songs.
That was just pyrotechnics.
Yeah, which happens a lot at concerts. They end, with like a big boom. And oh my goodness.
I did one for you guys.
Oh! And people thought it was gunshots and started to run.
Yeah.
And the crowd started, and people started to trample and
A scared crowd is
stampede. Yes.
That's deadly.
Because all you would have to see, if I was there and I just saw people running and I didn't hear anything, I'd start running too.
Start running.
You'd be
like, I believe everybody. I'm not going to ask what's going on. Yeah.
Exactly. So something like that, they're debating on whether or not to put gunshot noises in, or something that could be misconstrued as a gunshot noise in that kind of environment.
Yeah.
But Eminem, I think his solution was to put up like a warning before his concert that said there may be simulated gunshots in here.
Okay.
If that bothers you, you know, you should leave or you shouldn't be here or whatever. But which I understand and I'm grateful for. But if they were to take
trigger warning, yeah.
but like if he did take them out altogether, like I wouldn't be bummed about it.
I know, who cares if there's gunshot noises in a
Yeah,
song?
I know.
I mean,
but
like,
today and like what happened to poor
I just mean like
Ariana
you
Grande?
could take. I'm just saying you could take it out, and is the song gonna be worse?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like who cares?
Yeah.
Like just take them out.
I thought you meant leave it in. Who cares?
No.
Yeah.
There's certainly reason. I mean, like things have happened.
Yeah.
You can't pretend they haven't.
Yeah, that's why it's
and
like,
it's on people's minds.
yeah, that's what I mean. Poor Ariana Grande.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh,
Holy
that girl.
crap.
So I can't even imagine, you know. And then
How do you get
God
over
forbid, you know, knock on wood, something did happen at one of his concerts, and would people ignore it? Would that be a, you know, a safety hazard?
Yeah.
You know, to say everybody stay where
Yeah,
you are.
it just seems just drop it. Who cares? Just get rid of it. Is it really gonna bug you that
I
much?
know,
Does it
I know.
really make it less artistic?
I know. What do you? I know we got off topic, but I am very curious about your opinion with that. Gosh, I'm giving you
Just
guys.
be safe.
I know.
Just do what's safe.
I'm giving you guys like essay
Yeah, you guys have
assignments
homework
in the
this week.
comments. I am so sorry you have homework this week. But yeah, I'm really curious to see what you guys think about that. If he should take the gunshot noises out. And what did you think of the whole TanaCon thing? I mean, it was kind of interesting to watch unfold in that like the tea is hot kind of way, you know. But I really feel for her. That's got to be very upsetting.
And lastly, we wanna just bounce off this topic real quick. We don't want to spend too much time on this, but this has been. You probably heard about this.
It's been dominant.
Yeah, if
everywhere.
If you're not aware, immigration is a huge issue in American politics right now. We're not taking any sides here. We're not going to get into that. But what we are going to talk about real quick is the effect of policy that came in, which was a zero tolerance policy that started separating families at the border. You know, we're not going to get into why. We're not going to get into any of that stuff. But the fact is that families
a lot of
are separated.
finger pointing going
Nobody's
on.
really cool with that. You know, like the idea that nobody wants families separated.
We do have an opinion on this.
We do, but we're not going
trying
into
to. Right, we're not going to go there and here. And
But we do.
Yeah.
But we do want to just say that there are a lot of people want to help. And we're not talking about getting involved in the political side of things, just actually helping the families either get reunited or the people that are separated right now that have everything they need. And it's trickier than you might think to do that.
yeah, they're moving these kids around a lot, and they don't know where some of them are, and the government is kind of giving people, journalists, you know, charity organizations, things like that, a hard time getting into the facility to see what the kids need. So I know like the Red Cross was like, what do they need? They didn't want to let in the Red Cross. So people are trying to figure out what they can do. Some people are just sending stuff. Some people are just sending money. But at the very, very least, vote. I just saw today that if you are 17 and a half right now, you could register to vote and vote. Isn't that crazy? Yes.
There you go.
So you can if you do that, but it's hard to find resources for organizations that are doing something right now. So we were able to find some.
Yep.
And we will link them down below. And just try and stay informed about this, guys, and try to wade through all the crap if you can. There's so much mudslinging going on right now, and some people, and I know some of you who have actually done this, have just gone off social media altogether, have just gone on unfollowing sprees, and I get that. I wish that I could do that. Like personally, aside, I've spent way too much of my mental time. Blah. You know what I mean? Like it's been dominant in my thoughts for the entire week, like going to sleep thinking about it, waking up thinking about it. And I wish that I could unplug. Hopefully I get to a point where I could unplug. Things are just happening so fast, it's hard to keep up with. But yeah, I know that it's such a tricky situation, but like Maddie said, I think everybody could agree that nobody wants to see a family separated, no matter what the circumstances. So if there's anything you can do, you know, if you can, there's things going on with baby registries, you could just click. You could send some diapers or something for some of these kids. making some phone calls, calling a representative, voting, things like that. So I would graciously and humbly ask you to just, be informed and vote, please.
Okay, guys, that was that episode of BS on the internet. Stuff's in the links are in the description if you want to read about it.
Yes, this was a very heavy week. I really hope next week is just all like balloons and sunshine and cupcakes and potato chips.
Indeed. Well, if you like this video,
yes,
please support us on Patreon. Click like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.